It's Thursday, the 11th of August, and you're listening to the GameGrin GrinCast live on Twitch. I'm your host, Hamiltonius, and joining me tonight are Ace.
Hello.
Cal.
Hello.
MZ.
Hello.
And Fowler.
Hello.
And Vod may or may not be joining us this evening.
And MZ could not be less fussed to be here.
Yeah, MZ doesn't
Well,
care.
I want to be here. I'm just a bit I'm just a bit poorly.
Yeah, okay. What are we doing? Right, yeah, topics. Today's topic is about the gaming hype machine, or why people build up games so much only to be disappointed when they come out. There's obviously a very topical, but we'll talk about the game you're probably all thinking about in due course. But first, we have some news about Sirius Online, which Ace is going to take the lead on because he knows a lot more about it than I do.
Go Ace.
Right. The game Sirius Online has gone free to play as of just the other day. It's still not available on Steam. It was removed due to some piracy issues, not the good space piracy kind. But it was removed whilst the developer worked on a Unreal Engine 4 upgrade, because the old engine is on its last legs. And so whilst he works on the upgrade, he's decided to move Sirius Online to Sirius Online Classic and release it on itch.io and IndieDB. We did post up a news story about it, but I'm sure that Hamiltonians can post the links in the description.
I will if I remember.
Yes, if you've ever played on Freelancer, it's very, very heavily inspired by that. And it's all online, obviously, from the title. It's very good, very fun.
Yeah, well,
Ace has just trailed off.
yeah, it's very, yeah. I haven't actually played it, but it looks good, from my opinion. But I'm a bit spaced out at the minute. I've played a lot of space games this year so far for review and preview. So the big inky blackness is wearing a bit thin on me.
Well, there's the big game on the Humble Bundle at the moment is a spacey game, and I've just got that, so I'm going to be playing that Planet Base. That looks quite cool.
There's also Space Engineers on that bundle, isn't there?
Yeah, and Shelter 2.
Yeah, that's not a space game.
No, but it's okay. Good point.
I think that
shit.
The last space game I really enjoyed was Rogue Galaxy, but I haven't actually gone back to that, so I guess that doesn't really count. Is RimWorld a space game? Probably not.
If you played it, surely you should be able to tell us.
Well,
you're crashed on a random planet in space.
But
Yeah.
Earth is technically a random planet in space.
Yeah. Well, I mean, all the scenarios that people have put up so far have involved people crashing from outer space, so...
You can start as a tribe on the planet already, then.
Oh, that's really cool.
I was trying to help you with the whole space thing, but no.
Well, don't look at me, man. I'm just the circus leader here. I just let you all loose in the ring and watch the chaos, essentially.
That's incredibly insulting. Yeah,
well,
fair
no,
point.
it only depends on what animal you think you are in your mind.
I want to be a tiger.
You want to be a tiger?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not sure how to respond to that.
Yeah, this has gone off in a strange tangent. Yeah, but to summarise, go play Sirius Online because it's great, I guess. Ace, is it great?
It is.
There we go. Confirmation.
It is.
It's based on Freelancer, of course it's going to be good.
It's got the GameGrin official seal of approval.
I did watch all my notifications. The frickin' thing just keeps setting them back again.
Well, that's Twitch for you. This is the dangers of...
No, this is Mumble.
There's dangers of streaming everything in general. The dangers of life, the universe, and everything.
And being a tiger.
I'm this being a tiger.
Also,
tigers,
for anyone
tigers
who
are cool.
For anyone who like misses out or can't remember, magnets do work in space. By the way,
They do.
We have confirmed that. We have confirmed that that question.
Oh, bless his cottons.
Well, yeah. Spacey, space. There's something else that is set in space. If we're going by that classification of a random planet, is Evolve, which has announced its Sheer Madness event. Is another series of additions to the game since it launched Stage 2, which people have been playing and enjoying, apparently. I wouldn't know, because I'm rubbish. But yeah, they're going to be releasing something called the Quantum Surge update, which gives people a new medic, and also they're going to be adding some matchmaking changes, some balancing, some more tutorials, and a try before you buy option for their paid sections. So that's pretty good. They seem to be learning the lessons and.
Oh, sheer madness.
I thought it got. I don't understand. How could they do a try before you buy if they're free to play?
Of the premium items.
Oh, okay.
I think they're on the road to. There's another game that does something similar to it. I think Dirty Bomb does that. It's like
Dirty Bomb kind of does, yeah.
Yeah, once a week they let you try out one of the new characters, and then you have to pay for them.
I've actually gone back to Evolve and tried it after the free-to-play bit, and I've noticed...
Was that
at least
in
I'm
your
finding
desperate
matches
attempt
faster.
to find something other than Black
To
Desert
fill
to
the
play?
void, yes.
And what have you ended up playing instead, Fowler?
The worst MMO I've ever played.
Really? What is it? And
World of
how much are you
Warcraft.
paying for it per month?
Nothing, because I'm one of the richest characters on my server.
Oh, okay. So you're buying tokens.
Yes.
Okay. But you're still resubbed to World of Warcraft. Is that right?
Yes, because there
After
are
all the
no
shit that you gave me.
alternatives. Yeah,
Yeah.
I will continue to give you shit because I wait for Crowfall to come out, and then I will totally ditch WoW.
Yeah, sure. Resubbed. You resubbed.
Mm-hmm.
You took the coward's way out, essentially.
What else was I going to play?
Just not WoW.
Just
No
cry
other
over
good
Black Desert
MMOs out
Online.
there.
Single-player games.
Make an MMO. Ooh, RPGG MMO. Ace,
That
we need
sounds
to
like
get
a
on that.
hobby grade game.
Yeah, it is pretty hobby grade. You know, MOBA light, you might say.
Rude.
Yeah, so back to Evolve. Good on Turtle Rock for, well, I suppose, a good recovery.
I kind of think it was sort of maybe 2K
Too little, too late.
that was pushing
I
it.
I see a lot of people playing it on my Steam list. People who I didn't see playing it before.
But
Yeah,
they
well-
it could have been a lot bigger if they'd done it sooner, just because like so many people were turned off by the microtransactions. Like a lot of people I know did not want to play into it just because of that. And you get kind of skeptical when you hear, oh, it went free to play. But wait, free to play usually means more microtransactions.
It's
But it
alright.
also means people can play it without being put off by like a 25 or 30 quid pay gate to actually get the game.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it's like me, I never bothered buying the game. I was always tempted this when I saw it on sale, but I thought, nah, I'd just not get bored. But yeah, it just gives you the opportunity to actually try it now, considering it's free to play now. It's okay.
I wonder if it's still like a 25 gig download though.
I'm not too. I think it's still good. It is.
Do you know
It's
that like 10 gig of that is or roughly 10 gig of it is HD tutorial movies? I found that out on
Blimey.
Steam forums when you downloaded the game. If you go into the game's files and delete the tutorial videos and the introduction movies and things like that, it removes about half of the data usage of the game
Ah.
because they're like all like 4K and stuff and take up loads of.
Well, it's on the Cry engine as well, which was a bit of a system hog.
What's going wrong with the stream, everyone?
Yeah.
Me trying to switch between scenes, it switched to
I've
my
just-
webcam, it
just
switched to
seen a picture of
frickin'
Paolo.
everything.
Your face.
Found sat naked in his room.
I am not naked.
It's just
Oh,
a small little glimpse.
He's wearing socks.
It was black
Yes.
and white as well. It was very artistic.
I hope you weren't naked. Dawson, who is watching, very bless him, has just absolutely scarred for life. It seems.
Yeah,
Bit of-
probably.
Bit
No,
of
only if I
voyeurism.
windmill it.
Ah, Fowler.
What is it? Is this our fourth? This is our fourth time doing this, isn't it? Or is it our fifth?
But I think this is our 5th live cast, isn't it?
Yeah. It's ever going so well. Each and every week it just gets that bit better.
Yeah, but that makes it fun.
Yeah, that's true. There's definitely something that adds to it, especially since we're all entirely very competent people.
I would be competent if I knew 5 minutes before or longer.
That I can't be blamed for that.
Mm-hmm.
As I said before, you're all just puppets dancing to my tune, or animals in a circus, and Cal's a tiger, and. You know. Do they have tigers at circuses? I know this is like way off, but yeah, do they?
Yeah.
That's a Nubidon question.
I thought it was just lions.
Do they have tigers at circuses?
They have tigers in Madagascar 3 that has a circus in it.
Yeah, they have tigers in Magic Axe as well, don't they?
See, that's why you be a tiger.
Famous
Vegas
tigers in
Magic
games.
Kai,
Name a famous tiger. Kai. In what?
In Kai's whatever the.
What about that
I said famous
tiger
tigers.
cub that was in the Connect Animals thing?
Right, we're not doing well on the famous tigers here. You can have a tiger as a pet in black and white.
I've googled, do they have tigers in circuses, and it's just come up with a ton of PETA articles.
Clearly, no one remembers.
Not something to Google.
Clearly, no one remembers the most famous of all tigers in video games, Tiger Woods.
Oh,
boo!
Oh, very
Wow.
clever. That was actually very clever.
Cal, when you said you wanted to be a tiger, you actually were saying you wanted to be a professional golfer.
That has
No.
lots of affairs.
No, I want to be a tiger.
A sexy professional
Oh,
golfer.
is there a Winnie the Pooh
Yeah,
video game? Because
must
Tigger's a
be.
tiger.
But
No,
Tigger's not
Tigger's a
famous
tiger.
from video games.
Well, he might be.
You don't know that.
It's
For
just a
some
pity that
kids,
Frosties has
some
never brought
kids
out a
might
game.
only know him through video games.
I doubt that highly.
What about
Yeah,
the character that Angelina Jolie plays in Kung Fu Panda?
Oh,
Tigress.
Tigress. Yeah, something like that.
Look, I've got a Wikipedia list here of fictional big cats. There's actually
Oh, God.
there's literally only like 10 for video games. They think Bubsy Bubsy's a bobcat apparently. I'm not seeing any tigers.
Most of them are lions.
Aslan's a famous big
Oh wait,
cat.
He's a lion too, isn't he?
the highly popular
Yeah, he's a
PlayStation game Tai Fu Wrath of the Tiger.
Oh, that is a good one.
He's in that. They're bloody raw. There's tigers.
Is that
bloody
big
raw.
in Japan, is it?
Yeah.
There we go.
How did we get talking about tigers?
Because I asked about tigers and circuses, and we're rolling with it.
Oh, it's like magnets in space again.
We were talking about space games
Dawson
and space
says,
games and
Is
tigers.
there a tiger called Substantial Tangent anywhere
Well, you know,
in this podcast?
it's the live cast,
Yes.
so we can talk
It's
about
called
whatever we
Cow.
want. Wait.
Whatever we
bloody
want,
raw,
you
lots of
wanted to
tigers.
talk about this.
Purah in the Crash Bandicoot series is a tiger. Also Tiny the tiger.
Oh, Tiny the Tiger.
There you go. What else we got?
Good old Crash.
Isn't King in Tekken? Isn't one of his costumes a tiger?
Yes, he is.
Fantastic. Right, that mystery
And a
has
leopard.
been solved. Consider that myth busted. Famous.
I
There
thought he
are
was a
famous
leopard.
tigers. No, he's. Oh fuck.
He wears different masks.
He's got
One
different
of them-
masks.
He's got
a man
a tiger.
with very realistic
A man
animal
of many
masks.
colours. His coat of many colours.
Highly
He's the
realistic animal
Joseph.
masks.
Of the Tekken world.
He's like, yeah, we'll go with that.
Agreed.
It was red and yellow and green and brown and scarlet and black and opal and peach and ruby and olive and violet and gold
It's
and
about
Where
aster
are
and
we?
lemon
What's
and
going
I'm
on?
doing this song in my show, and I don't
Why-
even know the words, but Ace does.
Oh yeah, I've
Oh.
known the words for
What
a
strange
decade or
dimension
more.
have we wandered into?
It's Jesus
There-
and he's had no calico.
There surely is no God.
Joseph, not Jesus.
Or whatever. I thought it was called Jesus.
This
Well,
is
I
just.
remember-
No, you're thinking of Jesus Christ Superstar.
Oh,
Totally
that's it.
different.
Get your
musical.
musical theatre correct.
Which was the one
Wow.
with Willem Dafoe in it?
Is the stream even happening at the moment? Because
Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
buffering for me.
You gotta get a better internet.
Get a better internet.
Yeah,
All
buy
right.
more internet. Get some more RAM.
Download some internet.
Download some RAM.
Would you like me to fix the bitrate?
No, because knowing God, just turned into a webcam of you again.
It's fine.
No, the webcam has now had tape put over it.
Oh wow, okay. I like how you put tape over it, didn't disconnect it. You just put tape over
No,
it.
because when I do that, Windows does its whole thing where we cannot find this ever again.
Ba-doop. That noise.
Yes, I made the mistake of doing that with my mic this morning, and it took me 45 minutes to get it back up again.
I dropped past
Too
it
much
before this
information.
podcast started. or something. But then I'm partly responsible for most of it anyway.
Partly.
All of it.
Random live news, but I think the World Champions of Rocket League have just won. Well, the World Championship of Rocket League. There you go. First ever World Champions of Rocket League have won the grand finals of the Championship Series, and they won £27,000.
Also, just to clarify, King from
Yanks.
Tekken wears a Jaguar mask.
Bugger.
Oh well.
There you go.
Look,
I'm going to be a
thanks for
Jaguar
derailing me trying to get back into video games.
I'm still in video games.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, so it was a team of Yanks who beat the Europeans. I
Team of
buy Power
Yanks?
Cosmic. Yeah. Yeah,
Yes,
they are a
there's
US team.
The pesky Yanks have defeated the European team in a game of Rocket League.
I'm pretty sure there was...
That was the coolest voice.
I'm going to have to double check this.
It's just the guy from the Paith newsreel, isn't it? We should just have like the little introduction. Up and down the country, people are commiserating over the recent loss to the Yanks.
Can we just talk like that for the whole thing?
No, because it's really hard to maintain.
There's pesky Yanks. They've done it again.
Yes.
Hmm.
Space, the final frontier, but not if you're playing No Man's Sky.
To boldly go. where
Because
no
there's
man
no
has
frontier.
gone before.
Because everything is the same. No, I didn't mean that.
Is it all the same, is it?
No, maybe. I don't know. I'm got it, so... yeah, No Man's Sky came out. That one sort of crept up on everyone.
Not really.
Well, that's the joke.jpg. But,
That is the joke.
yeah, so I didn't see this one coming, neither did no one. There was no hype built up about it at all.
I think
so-
I saw a video for it at one point.
Maybe. I think they had a guy with a beard and he laughed a lot and didn't really say a lot. But yeah,
No,
No
he
Man's
was
Sky.
slowly going into madness because every time you saw pictures or videos of him, his beard and his hair sort of just getting just less unkempt and just...
Yes.
Yes.
Well, I've never seen a game release with so much mystery still around it.
Yeah?
Debates raged online whether you could or could not see other players, or whether things you did on a planet remained when you came back, or whether the story was worth it. Two tribes going to war, as with most video game releases. People saying it was rubbish, and other people saying, well, it was only ever advertised as an exploration game. You're expecting too much from it, etc., etc., etc. I haven't had a chance to actually look at the. Have there been any actual final score reviews happening today?
There was
On
one.
Metacritic, there's a few.
I know
I've
that the
heard that a
user
lot of people
score on
haven't
it.
gotten their copies.
The
Either.
user
Yeah.
score on it is like something like 200 positive, 200 negative, or something like that.
It's at the
Roughly
moment
average.
it's 341 positive, 49 mixed, and 234 negative. And then critic reviews is positive 4 and mixed 7.
Ooh.
A lot of them I've read are still saying review in progress, but there's I think it's a PlayStation magazine gave it 8 out of 10, but they didn't have the day one patch.
I think we're going to have some very different reviews
The
spread around.
meta-
PlayStation gave it 9 out of 10.
The Metascore is 70 currently
Ooh,
on the PlayStation 4 version. The user
We'll see
score
what
is
happens
5.
when the PC comes out.
it's a
I
failure.
think a lot of people
Yeah.
were just kind
It's not a
of...
failure.
They were
I don't think it's a
expecting
failure.
too... No. I think a lot of too many people
if
went
you're
in
taking from a
expecting
purely
something
financial
different.
point of view, that it's been a massive success for them, I'd imagine.
I
Well,
think
yeah, I mean, it
it's-
says here that it's the second most discussed PlayStation 4 game of 2016.
and it's also a technical achievement as well.
What was
Yeah.
the number one discussed
I
PlayStation 4
imagine
game?
Uncharted,
Do you think?
maybe.
PlayStation Neo, maybe.
That's not a game though.
Uncharted 4.
Ah,
Yeah.
there we go.
Well, I don't know. I don't think it's not a failure. I think, but at the same time, I think that they have been a little bit too. secretive with what the game's actually like, and it's
Evasive.
people. Yeah, exactly. When asked things like, "Oh, can we do this? Can we do that?" They've replied like, "Oh, maybe. Oh, wait and see. You'll find out." Things like that. Which I thought at the time was them just trying to mask the fact they hadn't done certain things yet, and they were building it up. But there's a lot of people coming out saying that it's not as complete as they expected it to be. I think a lot of people's main complaints is that the game feels quite samey after you hit a certain point, and that you just see the same variations of different types of planets and different types of animals. Although there have been some pretty funny GIFs posted online of some crazy animals. But yeah,
Just because you post the GIFs doesn't mean that they're funny.
no, I got them. No, I found them on Reddit and I found them funny. So
Sure,
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. Just because you post them doesn't mean they're
I
funny.
ain't got the game. I said before because it's not out on PC and I ain't got a PlayStation.
I was actually quite tempted to buy the PlayStation, but I'm like, I'd rather wait.
Apparently, the PC version comes with extended graphical options, things like field of vision.
Oh, thank Christ
changes.
for that. Because the field of view looks really bad on the
People
console.
said they felt sick playing it.
Yeah, it looks really
Yeah, I've heard that.
claustrophobic. Especially in the
But-
ship.
But you have to be honest, it's quite an achievement for a game which boasts a development team you could fit on an A4 sheet of paper.
That's very true.
Well,
I think it
realistically-
started with about 4 people, and then it built up to about 20.
yeah. If you
I'd
look
still
at
rather
the
play
final,
Project High Rise.
if you look at the final shot of all
Definitely.
of them holding up that gold disc, there are about 20 to 25 people, and people have accomplished way more with a way smaller team than that.
But we got to
Yeah, I
remember.
mean, just look at Flappy Bird.
Oh, that
We've
was
just got to
like a
look-
5-man team.
We've got to look at the fact that they're also this game is for them. It's not so much a project as games like Destiny supposedly were and Total War Warhammer is, but like they're planning to add to it. And the one thing they came out today with, which confused me, was that they said that the game for the PlayStation, the version for the PlayStation Neo would be, and I quote, fundamentally different, which seems to go against the rules of the PlayStation Neo itself. Really, when you think about it.
Yep. Well, the rules that they are apparent going by.
Yeah. Because surely, if a better No Man's Sky comes out on the Neo, that's going to piss off quite a few PS4 owners, I imagine.
By the time that comes out, I imagine the game will already be dead, to be honest.
Yeah, I find it
They've-
odd that people have actually got to the end of the game so quickly as well. Considering they spent
Yeah.
a long time saying how, quintillion, fathillion, mobillion, blah, 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 amounts of planets, and yet people have managed to get to the centre of the universe in one day,
Seriously.
Yeah,
They're-
about 30 hours it took them.
Yeah, they're just too shady about how they're overhyping everything. Like going back to what you'd said about overhyping games and why we do it. I think they've lined themselves up for way too much promise and not being able to actually give what they promised. Like, I don't know if you guys saw about the limited edition or whatever, the limited edition version with the sticker covering the multiplayer area conveniently.
Yeah, that only
Yes.
affects the sticker was put on there to change the age rating more than to cover anything up.
Well, so they say.
Well, no, because the
But
people
they've-
peeled the sticker and it was a 12, and now it's a 7. That's quite
Oh,
yeah.
quite a shift.
But they've also
Remove the
it
online.
conveniently covered up the multiplayer part, and there's also been that within day one, 2 people actually did manage to land on the same planet as each other, and they had multiple screenshots to confirm that they were in the exact same area and everything, and they couldn't see each other.
I thought that was hilarious because, well, they came out and said, "Oh, you're gonna take forever to get to the center of the universe. People do it in a day. Oh, you're never gonna meet someone that you know, but
And
you'll
2
see
people
signs of them or something. So what's the first thing people do? Oh, screw you. We're gonna go and meet each other.
Yeah. 1 in a
You-
billion chance or something, right?
You don't challenge the internet to do things with your game. They're going to
No.
do it."
It's just
Yeah.
very shady of them because now they've made all these fake promises that people are actually disproving, and they're going, "Oh shit! Well, we're adding it in the future, then maybe."
I'm on the review thread for it now on Reddit, of, like, collating the reviews they've actually confirmed. Like we said earlier, Metacritic 70, OpenCritic 70, Game Rankings 72.5. Destructoid gave it 7. The one that stands out at the minute is PlayStation Lifestyle gave it 9 out of 10. But then PlayStation. IGN Spain apparently gave it a 9 as well, but IGN Spain's a bit crazy. They do that a lot. Jim Sterling gave it a 5 out of 10, which I think is the lowest score so far. And he compared it to Spore, so there you go.
We all know how long that game lasted.
If there's going to be anyone to compare it to Sport, I would imagine it'd been Jim Sterling.
Well, he's pretty scathing in his review, even though it's a 5. Like, he says, and I quote, "I did not for a second believe Hello Games' vaguely described Spacefarer would be anywhere near as varied and expansive as promised. I did not expect just another survival crafting game that used randomization as a crutch to the point of losing all potential personality, and I at least expected more to fucking do."
And he still gave it
There
a
you
5.
go.
And he gave it a 5.
See, that would have been like a... I don't know what we would rate that as, but it's a functional game in a sense, but it sounds to me like there's nothing to really do.
I think it's a very... The problem is here is that it's a very subjective thing, like most video games, but like this one's very subjective in the way that people who play games like... who enjoyed games like, I don't know, Myst or... in that kind of genre, who just love, sitting and back and just truck simulator, for God's sake, sitting back and, zoning out while they drive around somewhere or they walk around a planet, they're going to really enjoy it. But people who want something with a bit more depth to it probably won't.
Yeah. I mean, I've already seen a lot of big streamers who played it for 4 or 5 hours and went, yeah, no, this is kind of stale already. Cause
it's not really good for streaming, is it? Because not a lot happens. There's not enough action to keep people interested.
Well, I could see the appeal behind, because there are people that are still interested in watching people explore and stuff, but it's just they started within 5 to 6 hours already starting to see repetition, basically.
There's
With,
lots of
as
people...
you said, the layouts and stuff like that, yeah.
Well, there's lots of people saying that it's a in US, a $30 game being sold for $60. Essentially, that it's, that it's been a product of marketing and, well, gamer hype, and that's why the price has, got as high as it has. And
successful marketing, I'd say.
Yeah, I mean, we've got to look at this as like, Hello Games announced No Man's Sky, and the internet collectively, orgasmed over the idea of it, and then Sony realised they were onto a good thing and decided, hey, well, let's crank this into overdrive. And it's worked. It has worked.
Yeah, I'm just looking now, though. It was the top stream game for the launch day, obviously, but other than there's one person that's got a massive amount of viewers, but other than that, it's very seriously already fallen off, so I can already see it losing its Twitch appeal, which is actually pretty big in the gaming industry now. It has a huge impact.
I never really thought of it as a game worth streaming.
I kind of did, just if you could see like a good variety of stuff, like if you could stream it for 5 or 6 hours a day and see different things every single time, then people stay interested because it's a constantly changing game. But when you start seeing repetition, people are like, oh, we've seen this, why are we watching it? Especially since you can't do any action stuff, really.
People have been streaming Starbound since well before it was released, and they're still doing it and finding new things and doing interesting things, building interesting things. So I guess I was wrong when I said that No Man's Sky is a bit like a 3D Starbound.
Yeah, that's very true. There were similar complaints with Starbound when it was in its early stages as well. That was specifically on the creature generation, as far as I remember, that things weren't varied enough, and that because they used an algorithm that put things together, you just saw variations of the same formula, which is what some people are complaining about with No Man's Sky.
But did Starbound ever claim to be an infinitely generated world to explore? Because to me, Starbound is more like get together with your friend. Like, that's another thing as well. You can play with your friends, right?
Yep.
Yeah, you can go through all these little generated worlds and stuff and have fun together building forts and all that, and can't really do that in Starbound.
I you mean No Man's Sky? But
Sorry, No Man's Sky.
Yeah, but like I think as maybe mechanically implausible as it would have been had it been a multiplayer game, there may have been. I don't know how. I mean, I imagine that's very difficult to do, especially with something so complex. But it probably would have taken off a lot if there was like a single server and then with everyone on it that didn't crash all the time. I imagine then people would probably be like, "Yeah, this is awesome. I can go and see other people." And even if it was just because I still has it been. Because I've seen both. I've seen it's confirmed that you can see people and they're like a ghost, or it's been confirmed that you can't see people.
I've seen a couple examples where you can't see them. I've never seen one where you can.
Yeah, I think I've seen evidence of people saying, "Oh, we both went to the same planet with the same coordinates and the same spot, and we couldn't see each other." But other people coming out and saying that you can definitely do it in some way or another, or yeah, I think the only thing you can do right now is you can go to a planet and see what someone's named the planet and the creatures on it, but you can't see if they've like blown a hole in a cave because it's not it's not shared data.
No, they always said that any changes you did to the planet would not carry over to other people.
Which to me begs the question of, like, if you're never going to revisit that planet, why bother? Realistically. If you're out trying to explore other places, why bother trying to make an impact on one planet if you're not going to see it again and no one else is? It kind of self-defeating purpose.
All depends if you can like set bookmarks on the planet or something, so you can return to it. But I believe once you've left a planet, it changes back to how it used to be. But
even for your own files, that would be. Really,
I suppose the resources would have to eventually respawn back. I thought it was just names that stayed. So if you visited it and you saw someone who named a creature that looked like a penis face, then I suppose you'd give it a chuckle and then leave. It's like that Weeble video. That was quite, that was quite accurate, to be honest with you. Yes, people were going to do that.
My question with that is, I'm assuming there's some sort of trophy or achievement for naming your first species. So you're going to come across nothing new this time next year, where there's been thousands and thousands of people going around naming everything, discovering all the planets.
But you still won't get to see anything new with them.
Well, this is like they say that there's going to be, because there's so much possibility there will be different versions of everything, and in some ways that's created some proper like abominations of like what has science done kind of creatures, where they'll have like T-Rexes with stubs for arms or like legs I meant
right.
And massive creatures with butterfly wings, yet they can still fly, and things like that. They have, I mean, to be fair, a lot of people were quite worried that there was only going to be a variation of like quadrupeds, and that there wasn't going to be any flying creatures or any large creatures, but it seems that you can get those as well. But
so it is better than Spore.
yeah, well, as long as you don't get massive penis creatures flopping around everywhere like you did on Spore. I think the issue is that they created this really overly ambitious idea, and then they got it down and they went, right, that's awesome, but they didn't really check to see if it was like mechanically sound, or whether it
feasible.
I mean, there's the thing that I think I probably will pick it up at some point, but I think the thing that will annoy me most, and it does with a lot of these open-ended games, is that I'll go fly around and I'll see these aliens and their big ships and stuff, and be like, right, I want to know more about that, or I want to get involved with that somehow. But like your interaction with them is not much more than just trading, or how's your father, or shooting them in the face, and you can't get big ships yourself. You can't. I think they're planning to implement creating like massive trade convoys for you at some point, but God knows when that actually is going to happen.
And that brings up the other question though, of why bother if you can't even interact with other people or anything, if you're just traveling in a massive ship just to go to similar planets, the ship's not going to really make a difference. It's just going to be another kind of, oh, look what we've added feature.
Yeah, well, I think we spent about 20 minutes talking about No Man's Sky, but let's open it out to the main topic and some other examples of games that have been hyped too much, and basically talk about why people do this. Get their
Fallout
hopes
4.
up. Ooh, strong.
Yeah, I agree with that, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Well, I was so hyped for it, and then I've got like maybe 45 minutes of it on Steam, and yeah. I mean, initially I bought the Pip-Boy edition.
Yeah, it's very true.
That's how hyped I was for it.
Most of my hours are in it with modding the game and then not bothering with your story.
Is it an issue with gamers or is it an issue with companies?
Companies.
Both.
It can't be an issue with companies for Fallout, because that came out about 5-6 months after it was announced. And then you've got No Man's Sky, which was announced, 2 years ago?
2014, I believe.
Yeah.
So yeah, 2 years ago. And
Well, they were obviously working on Fallout 4 before they announced it, but
Yeah, it was kind of people were hyped for it before it was announced.
yeah, but it's hard to get really hyped for something unless you know it's definitely coming out.
true.
Yeah.
Like Half-Life 3.
But I think that if a company's not creating this hype, they're doing a bad job. So is it really their fault if a game comes out that's not?
I wouldn't
Not what
say it's
people
their
expect.
fault for hyping it. I'd say their companies
Because
are
at the end
putting
of the day,
too
they
much.
just want to get the money. Sort of.
They do, but they're trying to put too much.
You mean it's a company?
They're trying to take everything that people love from every single game and jam it into one game. So, like, with Fallout, it seems like there was too much hype and focus around the base building, because that was the big thing at the time, right? We had all these survival games that come out with base building.
Yeah.
And it almost looks like they looked at it and went, well, that made them a lot of money, so maybe we should throw that in.
Yeah, crafting. Yeah, that's a
Yeah,
good
like
point.
just
I
stuff that doesn't.
quite like the crafting system. I thought the crafting system was good. The base building, not so much. I think if they'd have doubled down on it and just said, if they'd have done something like, I know they've added it in now, but if your base was like, you had one base and it was a vault and you could customize it however you wanted, I think that would be a much better way of doing it, rather than giving you a pile of rusty shacks and like, oh, here you go. Add
Do what you
some
want with
corrugated
it.
iron to it.
Play some
Another-
Rust with it.
Another settlement needs your help.
Exactly. I'll mark it on your map.
Mhm.
But I think I think it's also it's word of mouth, and the companies obviously encourage it, but things spread across the internet, unverified rumors. People say, "Oh, you can do this in this game," and especially with No Man's Sky, where people have said, like, "Oh, I've heard it from a guy who's on the dev team that there's definitely multiplayer features and things like that," and then people don't. They don't fact check and they get disappointed when the game comes out. But again, also that was sort of Hello Games' fault for being a bit coy and be like, "Oh, wait and see," about it.
Can you do this? You
Elder
never
Scrolls
know.
Online as well was very, very
that's true.
overhyped. Another game that I was super hyped for.
To be fair, they just shouldn't have listened to their community. They had made such a good game when the first alpha came out, and then they had too many people requesting different things to be added and said it was too hard to play. That was more just too much
I
listening.
think they had too many people in the beta.
That as well, yeah.
It well put me off when I played it. The beta was terrible.
See, that's the problem. Everyone, I think the alpha crew, like the amount of people that got into that was just enough, and they should have kept it like that for the beta. But they totally ruined it, so that when people got to beta stage, it was horrible. They had taken so many good features out and just made the game pretty much a 10-year-old could pick it up and play it and be awesome at it.
Yeah, I think other what was it called? Rift. That was pretty hyped as well.
Yes.
That game, everyone was like, "This is a WoW beta," and then it wasn't. I actually felt a lot of MMOs have come out and was like, "It's gonna beat WoW," and then no, it doesn't.
Let's not talk about that.
No, let's
That is
let's
still a
open it out.
very
Let's open it out.
sore spot.
What about that Aliens game? Wasn't there an Aliens game that was like super hyped?
Aliens, Colonial
Marines.
Yeah, like I'm pretty sure Rash still loved it anyway, but
It was rude because when they first revealed the game, it looked really good. Like they were saying, "Oh, this is an extension to the Aliens movie, so you can explore different areas." And graphically, it looked really freaking good. And then the game came out, and then the stories of the development came out, and then we found out that basically Gearbox were siphoning money from the development and using it for Borderlands. Yeah. And then they got sued.
Yes.
Yeah.
But Alien Isolation made up for it because that was amazing.
That's very
Which
true.
was made by Creative Assembly.
Going back though on what you'd said about the MMO, well, in a sense, MMO killers and whatnot, like the hype behind those. I wouldn't necessarily say the games themselves were bad or anything. That was all to do with pay-to-win mechanics. That's the main issue in that area. That's why WoW is still one of the best, like the biggest and best MMOs out there, is because they don't install pay-to-win with things.
I feel like you're going to mention Black Desert.
I could mention Black Desert. I
coming.
could mention Arcade. I could mention Rift. They all did the same thing.
But is it not because, well, obviously we don't know the insides of this, but like if you've got a free-to-play game, you need money.
Here's the
Rift,
interesting...
Rift didn't. Rift was
No.
Rift
paid
was subs,
monthly, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a monthly subscription. They tried that out. The way this works is these are all, I believe Tryon is are they a Korean company? I think they are. Because the Arcade was originally released in Korea. So the way that worked was, in Korea, it was a free-to-play game, and from announcement, or from the beginning, they said it's a pay, like you pay to play or pay to win. So all the marketplace items can be sold, or the real money items can be sold in the marketplace for in-game currency. But when they bring them over here, all these Korean developers, they try the buy-to-play model like Guild Wars does. And they'll do it, and they promise that they'll never do pay-to-win, they'll never be able to sell marketplace items and stuff like that. And then they realize how much of a cash cow it can be, and they switch that over. So I don't know if that's so much hype killing it, because yes, I'll talk about BDO. That game would definitely have been one of the best MMOs I've ever played. Combat-wise, content-wise, everything. It beat the pants off of WoW. But they decided that they wanted more money.
Fowler's on a rant.
To do.
No, I'm done my rant. It's just it wasn't hype that killed it or anything. They did their games well and then just ruined it with that pay mechanic, which is a huge issue with most games nowadays with microtransactions.
Well, there's not many games that really have come out and have lived up to the hype, is there? Really? I mean,
No.
I'm sure everyone will point to The Witcher and say that it was, or The Witcher 3, and that everyone hyped it, and it came out and it was grand.
It was good.
But that's just because, I'm not going to get involved, because I even though I like The Witcher and I like CD Projekt Red, like, you've read this on the internet, so there's just a massive circle jerk about them in general, and I don't really want to contribute to it, because I think, they're well praised enough as it is. So
I think part of the problem is we see too many, at least with the big name companies, with The Witcher and stuff, we don't get like early access alphas and stuff, so they showcase too much of the content. So I think that if companies want their games to not get overhyped, they're going to have to take the risk of showing less, having their investors maybe get a little bit scared, but in the end, releasing it and people actually just discovering things on their own. That's part of the main problem, is so much stuff gets killed when they show off what you can do in the game. I remember when I was younger, like all the games I would play through, when I discovered something brand new on my own, like some kind of function in the game I could do, that was the most exciting freaking thing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think of games that are like hyped right now that or rather games that are. There aren't many that like full hype train ahead.
Well, yeah,
since
what's
No
that?
Man's Sky.
What's the one that had the guy changed in it? with slow time and stuff.
Super hot.
Quantum Break.
Yeah, that's fairly hyped.
I think it was kind of in the sense that they were saying it's going to be like a TV show and it's going to be really cool and episodic and.
Oh yeah, Defiance. Do you remember that? Sorry.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I do actually. Yeah, I actually foolishly bought that.
I bought it and played it, like full on played it.
I was solely disappointed. I didn't even bother watching the TV show.
The
I was like,
Ah,
yeah, that's another one.
and who called that one?
Yeah.
Well, you know,
Overwatch is mega hyped as well.
that's true.
Has it
But
been
it's-
disappointing at all, though?
No.
Oh, there we go. I suppose that's another
Realistically.
example.
It's not got great user reviews.
Ha.
Oh, that right now it doesn't, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be because of the loot box system. A lot of people are pissed off. They're doing
Oh, yeah.
a
Yeah, they-
promotional thing where you can't buy the Olympic boxes, but that's it. So the skins are actually limited time, which I'm personally not bothered by, because if I get one of those skins, I'm going to be happy I have it.
yeah. I mean, to be fair, I've played Overwatch and I haven't really paid attention to the reviews, but I think they're doing a great job of keeping the hype like going, because they sort of top it up every now and again. They're very good for their audience interaction, Blizzard, especially with like they leave clues in about new characters in every single video and like comic they bring up, and it keeps the audience coming back for more. And it's also because it came out and immediately had, you know, a lot of rapport with its fans. And I don't know, I mean, yeah, I'm not really the person to ask because I wasn't really on the hype train for it. And I was a latecomer and I turned up and went, oh, actually, this is really good.
Yeah, I can
I had to be
definitely say I
convinced
was
by
on
my
the
friend.
hype train.
I wasn't going to buy it until my friend, who also was skeptic about it, I remember having a chat with him in a restaurant once for about half an hour, much to the annoyance of our girlfriends, about how Overwatch wasn't going to be good and how it wasn't going to compare to TF2. And then about a few weeks later, he messaged me on Facebook and was just like, dude, buy Overwatch.
Let's try a little bit of crack.
Yeah.
And I was just like,
Yeah, it is
okay.
like that.
I was like, okay, I'll buy it, but I'm not sure I'll like it. And then, yeah, the rest, as they say, is history.
Yeah, that was the same. I was convincing a friend about it. He thought it was like a single player MOBA type game. And I was like, no, man, it's not a MOBA. It's not like Battleborn. It's nothing like that. And it's like, oh, okay, I'll have a look. 10 minutes later, he buys it.
You won him over on it's not Battleborn.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. All I had to say was, it's not Battleborn.
A game that's really hyped is Final Fantasy 15.
Yeah. That movie's not done too
People
well.
love Final Fantasy games. That's coming out at end of September, and I don't know.
I think it's hyped by Final Fantasy fans.
Yeah,
I haven't really given a crap about Final Fantasy since 10, but that's me.
My love for
that's
it
because
died
nothing
after
will
13.
ever compare.
That's very true.
13 killed it for me, so I'm a bit skeptical.
Yeah, that was overhyped.
Oh god, yeah.
Is
There's a
that the one
movie.
where there was like they all had pointy ears?
No, that was with lightning,
Oh,
and then they just refused to stop. Continue using it. They kept like saying, "Oh, lightning! Everyone loved lightning," and they made like 4 games out of her.
Oh! How about Dishonored 2?
Yeah, I think it's too early for that.
It's not that far away.
How about Battlefield 1?
Shit.
Ugh, no one cares.
the thing is that like the hype train was like full steam ahead like a few weeks ago, or even a month ago, and it seems to have gone a little bit down. I think people are sort of, because they've got quite an extensive. Is it beta now, or is it? Yeah.
It was the alpha.
Oh right, well yeah, a lot of people have played it essentially, and it was. I think it's similar with Battlefront. Was also pretty damn hyped until it came out. But yeah, I think we've got about 5 minutes left. But I want to cover some quick news, some just quick breaking news, just to be relevant.
Don't do it in an old timey voice.
Okay.
Like,
Right, the Deus Ex Mankind Divided PC system requirements have been announced. For the recommended, you've got to have a NVIDIA GTX 970 or a AMD Radeon RX 480, which are quite high requirements. Essentially, people are saying that it's for the recommended. That is, pretty hefty specs needed for a game. So people are hoping that it will live up to its. But I don't know if anyone here has actually looked at it. I mean, apart from me or maybe Ace.
The screenshots look really nice for Deus Ex.
So everyone Google Deus Ex Mankind Divided right now.
I think there might be a bit of concern about, like, sometimes when companies show off the system specs, they sort of inflate them a little bit because they're not very well optimized. They could be like a console port done by a crappy team. If you look at when Batman Arkham Knight was the system requirements of that came out, they were quite high as well. And we look how that turned out.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, oh Christ, what was the other one called? What was the one before this one called, Ace?
Human Revolution.
Human Revolution, yeah. But that's not a shabby looking game. I wasn't too much of a fan of its art style because it was all orange, but like, I don't know.
I love that piss filter.
The new one's not going to be orange because that was during the augment renaissance, and well, if you've been paying any attention to the marketing, that renaissance is over.
Yeah, it's all very much. They're in some trouble, weren't they, the other week for showing a screenshot of Org's Lives Matter in a promotional picture.
Yeah, people thought it was
disrespectful,
not very tasteful. Yeah,
topical,
Nope.
but perhaps not tasteful.
They didn't ask for it.
Oh. Also, the new Pokemon Sun and Moon trailer has revealed what the bad guys are going to look like.
Team Skull.
That's it, Team Skull, who look a little bit like Juggalos, I'll be honest.
Yeah, they're wearing bandanas over their faces. They look
Also,
like gang members.
Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can grab this image. But like the girl versions are wearing shorts, but from a distance it kind of looks like it's just their pants.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I know.
I think that's wishful thinking.
I don't think it is. Hold on, I'm trying to grab an image. I can't find one. Nope.
The funny thing is,
There you
Team
go.
Skull's already been used in the Pokemon mythology, in the Pokemon Mystery Dungeon games. Team Skull are the villains of those.
Oh, right.
Right, those are clearly frayed shorts.
Yes.
If you say so.
You have a wild imagination, Alex.
They look like wannabe gangbangers.
Jesus
that's what
Christ,
I said.
Cal.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, like gangsters, where they wear the bandanas come in the face. Like, what are you talking about, mate? They're the sort of the people like that.
What was that again?
I don't mind it though. I mean, it's not a
Yeah.
horrible change from what it was, like what we've had.
From camp to gangster.
Yeah.
I mean, realistically, Team Rocket. Sorry, I just did something with the stream.
Of course.
Broke it. It's on your webcam again, is it?
No, my webcam I think is blocked off. I don't know. It's always nice to have this kind of change, and like these Team Skull, or what these people do is actually horrible. Like they're trying to steal people's Pokemon. They beat people up to try to steal stuff from them. So I've always thought that Pokemon games have kind of had more of the original Team Rocket kind of suited that, but they started moving more towards like friendly looking criminals. Like too friendly, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so.
Personally, the most interesting thing about the new trailer is the Alola Marowak.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
I've just posted a pic.
Oh, he looks cool.
Yeah.
I love the Sand Slash.
The story behind Marowak is it's wearing the skull of its mother. So the Alola Marowak is also using the friggin' tibia of the mother.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
That's really
isn't
dark.
it supposed to be born? The Cubone was born from a Kangaskhan as well, or something like that.
Oh,
It was.
a
I think
Cubone?
originally Cubone was meant to be
Yeah.
the first evolution of
Kangaskhan.
Yeah, that's it.
I must be mixing up Marowak and Cubone then.
I think they've really done a good job with this whole idea of revamping them and making them look more up to date, though. Like I really like the way they've done
regional variation.
this. Yeah, but it's not just that, like that. It's a regional variation. It's just for me coming back to this, because I played a bit of Pokemon X, but other than that, I hadn't played since Ruby Sapphire, I think, like the original. So going back to this is kind of nice to see a revamp of all my favorite characters.
I would have liked it if it had been a nice twist if the villains in Sun and Moon had been the teams from Pokemon Go.
No, they
Because there was
don't
like a-
cross the streams.
Because there was like I would have enjoyed that, because there's like the big old fan theory that essentially, because everyone's capturing loads of Pokemon en masse and sending them back to be stored away, that we're all actually just a new version of the evil teams from Pokemon.
Also, that one needs to be thrown in a blender, Cal. That one gives me nightmares.
He's awesome. I think he's awesome.
I forgot, what's his name? Mimikyu or
Mimikyu, yeah.
When you
post
run
it
out
to
of
the
ideas.
stream?
it's just creepy. It's supposed to mimic because everyone loved Pikachu, so this Pokemon saw that and tries to mimic Pikachu.
Oh, look at all the other Pikachus. They love him.
Cal, are you posting these pictures to the stream?
To the Discord or Mumble.
I'm sending it to Mumble.
So our viewers don't know what we're looking at.
No, but they can use their imagination.
Also, did anyone see that they had brought back that Pikachu's love for ketchup commercial thing
No, not familiar with that.
from way back from the TV show? They redid a commercial, and it's just Pikachu freaking out over a bunch of ketchup bottles.
That's a very strange advert. I can't see any other breaking news unless anyone else wants anything else they want to bring up before we close out.
The CEO of Niantic said that he wants Pokemon Go contact lenses,
Excuse me?
Yeah.
like Google Glass. I mean, obviously, it's not something that's now, but yeah, he wants there to be like contact lenses where people are fully immersed in the world by wearing Pokemon Go contact lenses.
And
And as you
Darwin
can
will
see
strike
from-
Again.
As you can see from these fourth quarter figures, oh my god, look on your head!
Random other news. More people are playing Rainbow Six Siege now than they did at launch.
No better time to buy it.
It's an
No.
interesting stat.
Interesting.
What else
Don't
we
say
got
that,
here?
Cal.
Yes, it's good.
That code's still not fixed.
I haven't played it for like 2 months though, to be fair.
I tried it, it's still bad.
Battlefield 1 are
You know what?
releasing some videos about their vehicles.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Oh, there's another 40k game coming out. Who'd have thought?
Oh dear. That makes what, 5,000,008?
Something like that.
Oh yeah, there's what was it? Transformers got a re-release on PlayStation 4 as well. I can't remember which one it is. It's either War for Cybertron or Fall of Cybertron.
Probably Fall.
I think it's Fall. But lo and behold, it was a complete stealth release by Activision, and it's apparently ported by the same team that did an excellent job at porting Prototype to the PlayStation as well.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah.
They
And it's
like
30
their
quid.
they like their stealth re-releases, don't they? Because Marvel Ultimate Alliance 1 and 2 was stealth released last 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, that was literally just like, it was in the news for like 2 days by just saying it's coming out this week. Oh, okay. The performance is shoddy on that game, apparently. On both.
Yeah, and it was released without the DLC bundled with it. The DLC that was completely unavailable on the systems it was released on. So one of the Marvel executives tweeted, "Oh, I'm going to get to the bottom of this," and then 2 days later, yeah, they're releasing the DLC as a free patch.
Oh dear.
Quantum Break's got a Steam page now.
Oh, finally. I can actually play it now.
Release on September the 14th.
I don't mind waiting for that. There was no way in hell I was going to buy the Windows Store version.
Is anyone else kind of hyped for Titanfall 2? I know that sounds like a reach, but
I quite like
Yes.
their story, the idea for their single player.
yeah, like they it seems like they actually kind of learned their lesson, because the first one, was there even a campaign in the first one?
No,
Yes,
I don't think
and
so.
I think there was.
there was kind of, but it was all.
Arenas
just
with bots.
Yeah, it was just multiplayer levels. You played with other people, and there was bit of a story and a bit of an introduction, but then it was just multiplayer.
See, I like how they've kind of come back from that and gone, okay, well, people are complaining there's, like, they want campaigns now, and it seems like they're actually putting some effort into story, which is something I can always appreciate with games.
I want to say the team behind it are probably one of the best to do story, considering they made Call of Duty 4.
Yeah.
So yeah, it looks really good. You get to bond with your robot.
Again, we can't overhype it. Or
No.
we'll kill it for
No.
ourselves.
Indeed not. Well, yeah, I think we've come to the end of the topic and the news and the end of the podcast. So thanks to Ace, Cal, MZ, and Fowler. Rod didn't appear, but maybe he did and dropped back out again. You never know. You'll never know, listener.
He was here all along.
He's behind you.
In our hearts.
His voice is coming from within the house. Yeah. So thanks to the guys at the podcast. I've been your host, Hamiltonius, and thank you to you listeners for staying with us through all the Tiger talk, which was obviously the highlight of the podcast.
And in an old-timey voice.
Yes, and the old-timey voices. I'm not going to do the outro in an old-timey voice.
No, disappointed.
Hey, Cal, if you want to have a go at it, you can go right ahead.
I can't actually remember what the ending part is.
Okay. Well,
Um,
you can find the GrinCast at GrinCast on Twitter, or you can get in touch with us, or you can leave a comment down below on the GameGrin website. If you're listening on iTunes, the GameGrin website is www.gamegrin.com. GameGrin itself can be found on Facebook and YouTube. Just search GameGrin, and obviously on its own website.
you can also find us on the wireless, if you're still using your wireless. Your television set may be connected, and you could also find it on there.
This is the BBC. Where was I? Yes. GameGrin. GameGrin. Lots of lovely stuff on GameGrin. Articles written by yours truly and everyone on the podcast. And remember to check out Game On and the Game On magazines and the Film and TV mag, which is up and coming and awesome. The podcast will be on YouTube as well later in the week. That's it for this week's podcast. There will probably be a podcast next week. Some of us are at Gamescom, so we don't really know. But we'll keep you posted on the Twitter. But until then, game on.
And don't forget to send a telegram.
Yes.